Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Digital Nomad Ventures. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through everything that you need to know about this new long-term resident visa, otherwise known as the LTR visa that they're rolling out in Thailand. It's going to be officially launched starting September 1st, just 2 days from now. So there's still not a lot of information available about the LTR visa. But in today's video, I'm just going to be going through a PDF document from the BOI, the official Board of Investment here in Thailand, that goes through all the information, including who the visa is for, the 5 different types of visa, how to apply, and qualifications and criteria. So please enjoy this video, and if you find it helpful, subscribe to the channel. Let's get started.
Thailand is introducing a new visa called the Long-Term Resident LTR, which is a program that provides a range of tax and non-tax benefits. So that's an interesting key there. You want to minimize your tax liabilities. So to enhance the country's attractiveness as a regional hub for living and doing business for high potential foreigners. These are, highly skilled professionals, investors, and basically business people that are looking to make Thailand their home base. And this new visa program is expected to attract new foreign residents, technologies, and talents contributing to domestic spending and investment while supporting economic growth. The Thai government has set the target of attracting 1 million, which is a very ambitious goal, wealthy or talented foreign residents into the country over the next 5 years. So this is pretty exciting. Applications are going to start opening on September 1st, which is only 2 days away. So I figure what better time to record this video than right here, right now. So hopefully this information is helpful for you guys. You can find this document at the BOI website, boi.go.th. I will leave a link in the description below so that you can access this document and read through it on your own. But let's continue going through. So this is all new to me as well. I'm learning this as I go along while I'm recording this video. So pretty interesting. Which categories of foreigners will be offered the LTR visas in Thailand? It will be offered to 4 categories of foreigners. Number 1, you've got the wealthy global citizens. More information about that down below. Wealthy pensioners, work from Thailand professionals, and highly skilled professionals. Spouses and dependents of LTR visa holders will also qualify for the same visas. So it's really quite similar to the Smart Visa program, as far as I can tell. That one has 5 different visa types, which I've covered in another video. You can check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below. But now we're just going to go through who qualifies for this visa and what proof of income and those sorts of things that they need to show. So number 1, we've got the wealthy global citizens. These are wealthy individuals holding at least $1 million in assets and investment in Thailand. So whether that be, real estate, different assets, so pretty much anything that is in a bank. Maybe you have crypto holdings, investments in the stock market. All of those would be considered assets. So you need to show that proof of $1 million in assets. So that's number 1. Number 2, we've got the wealthy pensioners, retirees aged 50 years and older who have an annual pension or stable income. So these are people who are already retired. Maybe they're already on their retirement visa. You have to be, I believe that's the same age. Maybe it's 54 or 55. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, you would also qualify for this visa. So I have quite a few friends here in Koh Samui who would most likely be interested in this LTR visa who are already retired and living in Thailand. So really good option for them as well. You've also got the work from Thailand professionals. This would be someone such as myself, remote workers working for well-established companies overseas. So let's say you're already working for, some company like remote.com, for example, and you have that proof of income. You're getting paid a certain amount every month, and it's a stable income. then you would also qualify for this visa. And if I didn't already mention, it's good for 10 years, which is very attractive. You've also got the elite visa, which is, I think, considerably more expensive than this one, although we will find out more about the price of this a little bit later. You've also got the highly skilled professionals, experts in targeted industries, working for business entities or higher education institutes, research centers, or specialized training institutions in Thailand. So these are like the doctors, the scientists, the technology workers, those types of people. Again, very similar to the Smart Visa program. They have a talent visa. So I'm seeing a lot of similarities between the two already. And then we also have the dependents, so spouse and children under 20 years old of LTR visa holders. You can essentially sponsor your spouse and children under this visa. So let's say you already have the LTR visa, then they can be dependents under that, which is will definitely come in handy. So next slide, we're already halfway through the PDF. What privileges will be offered to LTR visa holders? There will be many privileges that will make living in Thailand long-term easier and less bureaucratic, which is exactly what I want to hear. I don't like jumping through a lot of hoops. I don't like, going to immigration all the time, filling out a bunch of paperwork, and just all the bureaucracy, right? So the more that they can reduce that friction, the better, in my opinion. So beyond the overall ease of regulations concerning foreign residents, the LTR visa program makes the process of hiring foreigners easier, and foreign experts hired will strengthen the private business sector of Thailand. So it's really a win-win-win situation for all parties involved. As you can see here, that's a 10-year renewable visa. And the fact that it's renewable is also very encouraging because let's say you do decide to stay in Thailand for 10 years, you can also renew it after that point, sounds like. Also, this is a really good thing as well. You're exempt from 4 Thais to 1 foreigner employment requirement ratio. So this is one thing that has been kind of a thorn in people's side, so to speak. You always have to hire 4 Thais to 1 foreigner, and also give up majority share of your business, which makes sense, obviously, because they want to, protect the Thai people. They want Thai people to have more interest in the company. But I really like the fact that that is no longer required with this visa. That's definitely a positive step forward, I would say. And you've also got the fast track service at international airports in Thailand, very similar to the Smart Visa again. I have not left Thailand for 3 years, so I wouldn't really know, and I don't really travel that much. I don't fly very many places, but that's also a very nice thing to have as well. You've also got the 1-year report to immigration bureaus. So I believe that's the same as the Smart Visa as well, where you don't have to do the reporting every 90 days. It's been extended to 1 year, which is really, really nice. That means you don't have to constantly keep going back to immigration every 3 months. So that's a good perk as well. You've also got the multiple re-entry permit. So you don't have to file for the re-entry permit every time that you leave Thailand and then come back, which is also very good. And of course, most importantly, you have permission to work in Thailand. You have the digital work permit. So normally, if you want to work in Thailand, you need the work permit, right? Either that or something like a Smart Visa, or maybe a volunteer education visa. But if you're working for a Thai company, it is necessary to have that work permit, and you can get into some pretty serious trouble if you do not have one. So yeah, this basically takes the place of a work permit, which is really nice. And then we've also got some things here about taxes, which will probably be really interesting to a lot of the people watching this video. It's not really something that I am typically concerned about all that much, but yeah, nice to know that 17% of a personal tax rate for highly skilled professionals and tax exemption for overseas. I'd like to learn more about what that means. As a U.S. citizen, I am actually required to pay taxes in both the U.S. and in Thailand, which is very strange. I think it's one of the only two countries in the world that has that setup. Which is really kind of annoying, but there's probably some way to get around it. And I think this LTR visa could be that that outlet. And then last but not least, we have immigration or work permit facilitation services at One Stop Service Center, which is the same place that does the Smart Visa program. It's in Bangkok. And yeah, very, very straightforward. When I got my Smart Visa, it only took about 3 hours. I paid the fee and they gave me the stamp, and then I was on my way. So that's basically everything that you need to know about the different privileges that you're offered under the LTR visa. Very interesting indeed. And next, we're going to be going into the eligibility criteria. So if you're interested in living in Thailand under the new LTR visa, you can enjoy a wide range of benefits. Here's the criteria. So qualifications and criteria for the wealthy global citizen. As I mentioned earlier, you need at least $1 million US dollars in assets. You need a personal income of a minimum of $80,000 per year in the past 2 years. So let's say you're already working for a company or you have your own company and you're making at least $80,000 a year, then you would also qualify. You need to show all of these. So it's not either or, it's all of them, right? I believe. So you also need to have an investment of at least $500,000 in Thai government bonds, direct investment, or Thai property. So example of that would be real estate. Let's say you own a property such as a, luxury villa here in Koh Samui or perhaps Phuket or Bangkok, for example. You need to show that $500,000 investment into real estate or investing into startups, for example, that sort of thing. So those are the need to show the global citizen. Next, this one is for the retirees that are looking to get this visa. You need personal income of at least $80,000 per year at the time of application. That would be most likely just from pension. So that's going to be pretty tough for a lot of people. I don't know how much is the average per year for a pension because I haven't really worked for a company for longer than a few months, to be honest. So let's say you're getting $3,000 per month. That seems fairly average, anywhere from about $3,000 to $5,000. Then over a year, you'd be at about $60,000 per year. So yeah, I would think that would be pretty doable for most retirees, but honestly, I have very, very little idea. So yeah, let me know in the comments if that works for you as a pensioner. So then there's another one here. In case of personal income below $80,000 per year, but no less than $40,000, applicants must invest at least $250,000 in government bonds, foreign direct investment, or Thai property. So let's say you're not making the necessary $80,000 per year in pensions. As long as you're making more than $40,000 per year and you are also investing in property here, exceeding $250,000. So let's say you bought a house for 10 million baht, then you would also qualify for this. And I can think of quite a few people here in Samui who would qualify based on that criteria. So yeah, so those are the different requirements for wealthy global citizens and pensioners. And then you've also got the health insurance requirement, which is pretty much standard fare for any visa that you're going to be applying for, including the Smart Visa as well. You need to show at least $50,000 in coverage or Social Security benefits, ensuring treatment in Thailand, or at least $100,000 deposit. So make sure that you have your health insurance in check before applying for this visa. That goes without saying. Next, we're going to be going to work from Thailand professionals. So these are people more such as, like myself, that are, let's say, working for a company, working remotely abroad. You need to show personal income of a minimum of $80,000 per year in the past 2 years. So that's for both the highly skilled professionals and the remote workers in Thailand. And this is similar to a digital nomad visa that a lot of countries are starting to roll out now. You usually have to show proof of income, but I don't know if they require you to show it over a few years. I think they just want to see like a monthly income exceeding typically $3,000 a month, which I myself would not qualify for because I don't work for a company. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm actually starting to work for a company here in Samui, a real estate company. So that'll be a nice way to stay here once I get the work permit. But yeah, so then it has it broken up into 2 different sections here. So in case of personal income below $80,000 per year, but no less than $40,000 a year in the past 2 years, applicants must have a master's degree or above, or own intellectual property, or receive Series A funding. So essentially, if you have a startup that is well established and you've already raised startup capital funding, Series A funding, then you would qualify, as well as if you have a master's degree or above. This is becoming less and less necessary as more companies no longer require a college degree. But it's interesting that they've included that in here. So, but as long as you're making $80,000 a year or $40,000 a year and upwards, and you also have a master's degree or funding for your startup, then you would qualify for the Work from Thailand Professionals category. And next we have, for highly skilled professionals, it's basically the same thing, something to do with science and technology or special expertise relevant to the job assignment. So you don't need to show the funding, but you need to show that you have experience in science and technology. And here it says no minimum personal income for professionals working for Thai government agencies. So that's kind of interesting. If you work for a government agency, you don't need to show that proof of personal income, which is, I don't know why exactly, but that's the rule they have there. And there's more criteria here as well for the Work from Thailand professional. It needs to be a public company or stock exchange or private company in operation for at least 3 years, with combined revenue at least $150 million in the last 3 years. So that's for your employer, right? You don't need to show $150 million. It needs to be your employer. So it needs to be obviously a well-established company with a proven track record that you're working for. Also need to show experience, at least 5 years of work experience in the relevant fields of the current employment over the past 10 years. And also, obviously, the health insurance, $50,000 or $100,000 deposit. And for highly skilled professionals, you need a business or higher education institution, specialized training, or Thai government agency, at least 5 years of work experience in target industries, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you can read through this entire document on your own. I just wanted to make a video about this because there's really not too much information about it yet. Not many people know about the long-term resident visa. And I believe there's actually going to be a special event on August 31st in Bangkok. I can't remember exactly where it's going to be, but I received an email about it, just going over this in more detail before they officially launch it on September 1st. So if you're interested in more information about that, you probably missed it already when you're watching this video. But this is going to become an official visa in the eyes of the government of Thailand on September 1st. So by the time you're watching this video, it will most likely already be official, which is good news. And most importantly, this is the question that most people will probably have. How do you actually apply for the visa? So here's the process that you need to go through, along with a flow chart right here. And we're almost through this. So made it this far throughout the video. Please subscribe to the channel, and hopefully you guys have questions moving forward. So, and also not officially BOI, and I don't work for the government or anything like that. I'm just a messenger, you could say. So number one, you have to register and submit online an application for qualification endorsement for the LTR visa and supporting documents. Similar to as you would for the Smart visa, I would assume that it's a fairly similar process. And then within 20 working days after having received and completed documents, you'll be notified of the result. Qualified applicants may proceed with applying for the LTR visa in issuance at the Royal Thai embassies, overseas, or immigration offices in Thailand. The one-stop service center in Bangkok is where you're going to go. And the processing fee for the 10-year visa with multiple entry is 50,000 baht per person, which is really quite affordable. I spent 10,000 baht for 6 months for the Smart visa. This one's 50,000 baht, but it's for 10 years, which is a much longer time. So that's at a very attractive price. Bear in mind that the Elite visa is good for about 10 to 15 years, and that one is about 800,000 baht. So really puts things into perspective. That's a very affordable price for a 10-year visa. And so definitely check this out. And I would highly recommend applying for this if you're looking to make Thailand your home base and you fit all of the qualifications and criteria discussed throughout this video. So here's just a basic flow chart discussing what I already mentioned. You've got the applicant, you register and submit application online. It takes about 20 days to verify documentation. You are notified of the result, either approved or denied. Then once you're qualified, you collect the LTR visa either overseas or that's good. You can do it overseas if you're not already in Thailand, or you can collect it at the Thai immigration office, the one-stop service center, and then you collect your digital work permit. So that's it. The digital work permit is included in the visa, which is really cool. So this could also be a really good option for me as well. Once my Smart visa expires in the next 2 months, if I'm not able to get my official work permit through the company here in Koh Samui, then I could also consider this as an option as well. And that's pretty much it. We've gone through the entire PDF document. If you'd like to contact them for more information, you can send an email to ltr@boi.go.th. Again, I am not sponsored by the BOI. I am just providing this information as a resource for you guys. And there's the address, so you can look it up on Google Maps and see where it's located. And here's a QR code, and lines, of course, as well. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Applications are quite stringent. It's going to be difficult to meet those qualifications for a lot of people. But, again, you've got the wealthy global citizen. You need to show at least $1 million in assets and investment in Thailand. Wealthy pensioners, if you're over 50 years old and you have an annual pension of, 80,000 or more per year, or 40,000 or more per year, and you've invested in real estate up to $250,000, then you would qualify as a wealthy pensioner. Work from Thailand professionals, people making over 80,000 a year or over 40,000 a year with more qualifications. Highly skilled professionals, pretty much the same. And dependents as well, which they didn't discuss below, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. If you have a wife and kids under 20 years old, then they can be sponsored under your LTR visa up to 4 dependents. And this is a question that I've gotten before about different visas. People are curious to know if their kids would qualify as well. And usually under most visa programs, you can just sponsor them and they can stay in the Kingdom of Thailand for the entire length of your visa, which is really nice. So yeah, it's not a digital nomad visa in the typical sense, but it's definitely making progress moving forwards. And I think it's actually setting the bar even higher than a lot of the other countries that are rolling out digital nomad visas. I personally like this one a lot better. And again, it's good for 10 years versus 1 to 3 years that a lot of the digital nomad visas offer. And it offers a lot of perks as well, like multiple reentry. You don't have to hire 4 Thais to every 1 foreigner, which is really nice. You got fast track service at international airports in Thailand. You don't have to report to immigration every 90 days, which gets pretty annoying after a while. Believe me, I've been to immigration my fair share of times, probably at least 15 times now, and it's not fun because you have to wait in line and it's just a big hassle. So, and also you get the digital work permit, which allows you to work legally in the Kingdom of Thailand, which is also super important. So if anybody comes and starts hassling you, asking you to show them your work permit, then you can easily provide that to them. And it also has tax exemptions for overseas income, which is something I'd be curious to know more about once the visa is officially released to the public on September 1st. So yeah, that's everything that you need to know about the LTR visa. Hopefully you found this video very insightful and helpful, and I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to be putting up more videos like this very soon, and also just vlogging, showing my daily life here in Koh Samui. Hope to be traveling again to places like Phuket, Chiang Mai, maybe Bangkok. Rainy season's coming up here in Koh Samui, so I'm planning on going some other places during that time. So, and let me know if you have any questions about Koh Samui. If you're planning on coming here, you can send me an email, which is in the description below, with any questions you may have. And that's all I have for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe. Peace from Thailand.